Spirit of Minnechaug by going above and beyond while working with students at Minnechaug to make the entire school community a better place. This faculty member demonstrates and models our 4 core values. This faculty member willingly gives time to serve on committees, advise activity groups, or coach school teams while continuing to be a wonderful classroom teacher. Previous award recipients who are still currently at Minnechaug are Mrs. Gaffone, Ms. Doe, Ms. Dryack, Mrs. Miracle, Mr. Orzik, Mrs. O'Sullivan, Ms. Reedy, Mr. Sadakirski, and Mrs. Weiser. The recipient for the 2019 Teacher of the Year is being awarded to Mr. Benjamin Ellis. Would today's speakers and members of the Ellis family please come out to the fields? We can have the speakers remain on the field and the history department, as well as the Ellis family.
Hello, my name is Anthony Izzo. I had the privilege of playing baseball for Coach Ellis for the past 2 seasons. Not only was he a great coach and role model, but he was also a great person. Coach Ellis devoted much of his time to helping students at Minnechaug improve, both academically and athletically. He could always be found in his classroom, working on his computer. During school and after school, he would spend his time coaching golf in the fall and baseball in the spring. Coach Ellis was the type of person who would always greet you in the halls, no matter how good or bad his day was going. He could always brighten up your day by starting a conversation or telling you a joke. Coach Ellis took pride in the relationships he formed with his players and students. He always had advice for anyone who needed it. And he was always willing to help you, whether it was with batting practice or history homework. He wanted the best for his players, stressing good grades in school and hard work on the field. Coach Ellis also had a lighthearted side. He loved to interact with the players on our team. I can remember my sophomore year when our whole team would play HQ trivia at 3 o'clock sharp before every practice together. Coach Ellis always knew the history answers, and he was convinced that he could win the grand prize if he really wanted to. Little did we know the grand prize was only $20, but that didn't take away the excitement. Coach Ellis had a tradition of giving out a game ball after every win. He would recap his favorite highlights and give the ball to the most valuable player. That player would write a message on the ball in Sharpie and give it back to him after the next game. By the end of the season, our game ball would be covered with great jokes and messages. We also shared the same taste in music, classic rock. We would jam out to Enter Sandman by Metallica and Africa by Toto every day at practice. Coach Ellis even helped create our pregame playlist. After practice, we would have deep conversations about anything you can imagine, whether it was about my plans for college, the New York Yankees, or my personal favorite, our love of PBS history documentaries. With both of our baseball coaches being history teachers, our team was always the most historically knowledgeable in Western Mass. I personally never had Coach Ellis as a teacher, but many of my friends did. From their accounts, he was the same in the classroom as he was in the baseball field. A great leader who was always doing his best to help. Many of my friends told me that he was their favorite teacher because of how much they learned in his class. He was never one to shy away from pushing his students. He was the same way on the baseball field as well. He and Coach Nikovic worked tirelessly to prepare for each season, dealing with all the speed bumps along the way. Along with Coach Nikovic, Coach Ellis helped guide Minnechaug baseball to the playoffs every one of the 3 seasons that I've been here. There's something to be said about that. Coach Ellis helped create an atmosphere of hard work and development in the Minnechaug baseball program. Coach Ellis' legacy at Minnechaug will never be forgotten. The traditions he helped create, such as our game ball or our history trivia, will live on. Not to mention the countless students he educated over the course of his teaching career. After all is said and done, I hope we can all take a moment to reflect on the positive impact Coach Ellis has had in our lives. Thank you.
My name is Gabrielle Williams. I had Mr. Ellis as a teacher for 2 years. I remember last year after school had just ended, it was 2:05, everyone was ready to head out. And on my way walking with the crowd, I would park for them and end up in Mr. Ellis's room. It would usually be on his computer, checking grades, or looking at baseball and golf stats. He would look up and say, "Gabby," as if the whole day hadn't taken a toll on him. We would talk for a couple of minutes until he would say, "Okay, get out of my room," or left for soccer. I would always leave knowing that he would always be there, always ready to talk. I cherish those times now more than ever. I walk by now still expecting him to be sitting there laughing or saying something sarcastic. Always with some sort of Yankee hat or shirt with him nearby. Even though Mr. Ellis was my teacher, he was more than that. To the faculty, he was more than just a coworker. I can speak for all of us when I say that he was a great person and a great friend. Someone who I could joke with, make fun of, learn from, and talk to. Someone like that is rare, and I'm glad I had a chance to know him. I'm glad I was there for the small things, like when we were in class and I would completely butcher an answer to a question. And only Mr. Ellis with his easygoing attitude can stir my mistakes into jokes and make the whole class laugh. I wish I could tell him that he always made my day, or just tell him that he was my friend. I wish he could be here now so we could all say goodbye. And to the family of Mr. Ellis, your son was an amazing teacher, colleague, and friend. He taught me more than you'll ever know, more than just sociology and history. He taught me about how to be kind, how to cherish people, and how to be a good friend. We have lost a member of our family, and we are grateful we had the chance to know him and to laugh with him. He will forever be in our hearts.
And now I'm going to invite Mrs. Cafone to come up.
First of all, I want to thank the Ellis family for making the trip all the way from Schuylerville, New York to be with us, to support us, and to take a peek into the life and legacy their son, Ben Ellis, made for himself at this school. On July 10th, we all received what seemed to be impossible news, that Ben had passed away. Whether near or far away from this building, our department and our faculty instantly reached out to comfort each other. It was like living a bad dream, and some days, quite frankly, it still feels like we're in it. But what gets us through it all is what Ben loved the most about his job: you, the students. On the first day of school, I asked Mr. Ellis's advisory to write a letter explaining their relationship with him and how time was spent during these blocks, so that I didn't repeat any lessons, even though I was pretty sure he logged some Netflix minutes in there. When reading through these letters, it was wonderful to hear a couple of short stories about him in the classroom and how one student checked in with him daily just to touch base and wish him a good day. But what was more telling were those that hadn't had him in history. The same message was echoed several times. I never had him as a teacher, but he always made me feel welcome in advisory. He would smile or crack a joke that made me relax. This was Ben's specialty, making people laugh. Many of us throughout the faculty would receive texts from Ben during the week, the weekend, and throughout the summer. Some were work-related, most were not. It was his way of checking in, letting you know he was still there and usually getting a rise out of you when you least expected it. It's been those lack of check-ins that hurts the most. One long-standing joke he had with some of us was that he would campaign for himself to be the staff member of the month. During our meetings, if he contributed just one idea, he would suggest this was the tipping point that should win him the title. Well, here we are, standing on the football field to honor him today. I do believe he is here, standing in line with our department. And if he could say one thing, it would be something like, "This is pretty cool. Ryan and I got a shirt. None of you got shirts. This is awesome." Followed by his hearty chuckle. To you, he was Mr. Ellis. To us, he was Ben. To some of our actual children, he was Uncle Benny. To everyone, he was a man who went out of his way to make you laugh and feel as though you were thought of. A true Minnechaug legend. He was compassionate, he was thoughtful, he was Chaug. And to his advisory, message received loud and clear. A few more moments of Netflix here and there won't be the worst way of spending the time. Besides, he would want us to.
You know, it's important for the Ellis family to know when your children grow up and they move away and they start to have friends and relationships away from home, you start to lose touch with having your family know the impact that you're making in a faraway community. Today was an opportunity for us to show the family the daily impact that Mr. Ellis had on our family. He was our friend. He was our coach. He was our teacher. And he's missed. And at this time, I'd like to ask a member of the Ellis family to come up to share some thoughts. So this is Ben's dad and Ben's mom.
Thank you very much. And this is Ben's brother, TR, his uncle David, and his aunt Stephanie. Something else. Let me get started. This is not my forte, but I'm going to do my best. As Ben's family, we are honored and proud to be invited here today to celebrate your wonderful Minnechaug High School and to celebrate our son, Ben. He loved teaching and coaching. His students and the staff members meant everything to him. We have heard from so many of you about the kind of person Ben was and what he meant to you. We are so grateful that you shared your stories and experiences with us. His legacy will live on in his classroom and hallways, in the athletic fields that he loved so much here at Minnechaug. We are Ben's family, but all of you you are Benson family too. He always talked about you as his other family. Thank you for taking such good care of him. His days spent here were some of the happiest days of his life. The memories from today are ones that we will take with us and cherish always. As we have heard it said, we are Chaug.
On behalf of our family, we would like to thank the administrative staff, the faculty, and the student body for having us here today. It is truly an honor for us to be invited. Thank you for your support during this terribly difficult time. We can't express enough how meaningful it has been. Sharing your stories of Ben, whether in person or on social media, have had a profound effect on all of us. It is comforting to know what an impact he had on all of you. Ben would come home for the holidays and breaks during the school year and stay for a couple of days, but he would not stay long. Now we know why. His school and his community was his home. We take pride and joy that he was in such good hands. We are grateful that Ben was able to share his love, his laughter, his karaoke abilities, and his spirit with all of you. Thank you. We are Chaug.
I also want to mention Mr. Baroni, who's currently coaching the golf team in Ben's honor at the Ben Ellis 2-ball tournament, where our Chaug golf athletes are participating. I know Mr. Baroni wanted to be here today, and he's doing great work with the golf team, and we appreciate him stepping up this year. At this time, if we could all take a moment of silence and remember Mr. Ellis, our friendship, our coach, and our peer. Thank you. And thank you to the Ellis family for joining us today.